What's up, ElectricAllWheel? I am here with the Troxus Vulcanus today, and we are going to do the handlebar extension. And then one thing that everybody knows now is that when it comes to that, you're going to have to redo your brakes for this thing when you go to extend your handlebars, just because there's not enough slack in that line. In lieu of that, we will be adding some Zoom hydraulic disc brakes. We're going to extend the handlebars first, and then we will put the brakes on so that we get a good length on the line. We're hoping, we've done this on a Hemiway, and the body structure and sizing is pretty similar, so we're hoping that this sizing and the cable length will be good, because these are pre-bled, and that means that you can just plug and play with them so long as you don't have to cut the cable length. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, check out E-Bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Join that group, get an event going, get us some bike rides if you're in the Tampa Bay area. Everybody's looking to do the same thing, so try it out. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. YouTube is our primary. You can check out our website. We do try and upload all of the editions for this, give out the links, etc. And then we will actually put this in the Troxus e-bike group link as well, or the group page on Facebook. Without further ado, we're going to get started. First things first is I'm going to undo the cables at the handles and then just leave them, and then I'll do the extension, and then I'll come back and then do the brake installation. Here we go. Looks like I'm going to need to get the gear shift back around the body so the cabling comes out on this side for slack. You can see how it's fallen out of frame, so I'm just gonna release the bike from the rack in a moment once I get everything set up. And that way it'll sit flat, and then I'll get my full extension too. All right, we released it. I made sure that everything is sitting center here. So the fork is back into the head of the frame, and everything is going to tighten up nicely. Go. So I can see that I'm going to need some spacers right here. These were the two that were originally on there, so I'm just going to use both of them, it looks like, or I may use this little one off there. Yep, that looks like it's going to cover, and then I'll save this nice thick one for up here in the event that we need it. Okay, right now I am just looking to see what the depth here is. So what I'm really hoping is that I catch this and that the star nut isn't offset so it goes in at an angle. But I'm aware of that, and so long as I make sure that it's threaded correctly and I can do it by hand loosely, it should go in okay. The star nut and this extended bolt will bring it and smash it all together. And then once I get a nice semi-tightness to it, then I'm gonna align the fork, tighten here, and then I'm gonna tighten the stem extender. I'm okay with this gap. If I try to eliminate that gap with a spacer, it's too much. So it's pretty much the right setting right now. So now I'm pushing this bolt down, and then I'm finding the center of the star nut where the original was bolted in. As you can see, it looks like it's offset just a little, which means the star nut kind of went in sideways a little bit. It's not a terrible thing to happen. It will tighten up just fine. Make sure that the fork is properly inserted here. It's not offset here. Your headset, all of the pieces are seated correctly, and they are. So I'm going to go ahead and move towards tightening this down. At this point, I also want to be conscious of the center line. So I'm looking at the center line from here and then out the front wheel. All right, so you can see on this, I switched the side for the gear shift. This cabling came out over here, so I bought some extra space and shipped it back over. I did this by unplugging everything from the harness, which should be easy enough to plug back in once we get going. What you will also notice is that these links are much longer than what you typically see with other bikes, so you must be careful about that. I have tested this already, so what I have will work. Just be conscious of that fact. So since these have the 160s on there and we just took off the 180, we're going to reuse this bracket. We're going to put it back on here. We're going to take this one off, and then we'll get this set, and then we'll run the cable up. This is up. This has an up arrow. Put it like this. Through. So what came off of there are two different length bolts, so keep that in mind. It's going to be the longer one up top. So I'm going to make sure and pull this. Get that seated over the caliper, or over the rotor itself. Come back and adjust later. So it's going to be like this. You want the shroud over the top, and then the nut to compress it into the lever housing. And then these little ferrules go over the hosing right here. And then when it gets in there, it presses the nut, and these ends squeeze together and then fasten into the hose. So I'm holding it upright so none of the liquid comes out. Now I'm going to prep this nut so that when it comes undone, I loosen this by hand and then I get it in there as quick as possible and then tighten it down. So now I'm going to take my cap off my hose, hold it upright. It's very important that the hose goes all the way in. Now what I'm doing is I'm not flattening this hose. I'm just gripping it so that when this hose gets tight and that ferrule wraps around it, it doesn't bind it inside the housing. These feel pretty good. and get that in there. Now here's my harness. What I'm looking for is the red connection. It's one of the brake levers. And then I'm looking for the arrow here on this face. And then there's an arrow as well. With these, it is very, very important that you watch the cables inside here. Make sure they don't bend. Get the alignment correct. So now I know that I've got to work this housing around what I've got going on, but staying straight at the same time. Now I'm going to install my battery and then check that the motor won't run while I have the lever depressed. For this, I'm going to have to do this check, I'm going to have to hook up all my other stuff. And there it is. I can see throttle works. And then you can actually see when I depress the brake lever that the brake light is popping off. So I know that they're actually hooked up. Okay, I have to do the back now, which means I got to run the line all the way down to the caliper on the rear wheel. It actually comes through the frame. I've got to get it out the frame here as it moves all the way down, and then it wraps exposed here and then over to the rear. So all the zip ties have to be undone, and then I'm going to tie a string to the cable before I pull it out. There's a zip tie right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this unbound from this grommet that goes inside the frame housing, and I'm gonna pull out this way. Okay, same thing, I'm going to remove this bracket. So it's going to sit like this, the hose will come down and around. Go ahead and pull this pin. So at this point, I'm just gonna put my zip ties back. I'm gonna thread this through this grommet hole here. And then feed that back into the frame so it sits like it's intended. And my hose goes on the right-hand side. So on this one, I'm gonna do the exact same. So I'm gonna go into the baggie, find the shroud cover. Here's the compression nut, and here's the ferrule. Take my hose and hold it upright. Put my shroud on, put my compression nut on, nut side first with the threads up. And then I'm gonna undo my little metal cap and then put my ferrule on there. Put my cap back on. Prep this to remove by hand. Good. Prep this so I can tighten it quickly. That's good. Take this off, remove this, seat this, get it in there, and tighten it down. Don't waste any time. I'm gonna just grip my hose so it doesn't bind while I'm tightening this down. That feels pretty good. Looking for my arrows. That's good. Now I know I've got to fish that out over the top. Continue to make sure that they're aligned. Now I'm going to run my light check. And it is blinking with me pressing the brake lever, so I know it's hooked up. And we are good to go. Give these cables some kind of cleaning ramp. Holy cow, it is hot out here. We now have the hydraulic brakes on the Troxus Vulcanus. There's two videos that you can pretty much watch to get this done. The variation is the housing for the cables, like the harness, and the depth of the plug for the brakes, but it works on both. I use these on the Hemingway Cruiser and the Troxus Vulcanus. This is a good add-on, and it's economical at $140 from Amazon. Plug and play. Didn't have to bleed them. I'm really happy about that too. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, check out eBikes at Tampa Bay. Check out our YouTube. It's our primary location. It's what we link our website to primarily as well. So give us a like and subscribe there. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And then wherever else the interwebs will take us, we're probably going to go there. We're going to post this on the Troxus Facebook group. We'll post it in eBikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. We'll post it on our website. We'll post it on our Facebook page, and we'll hopefully get you to post it too. We'll talk to you next time.